Hi everybody. Today we are going to be talking about what I think is kind of a fun topic, and that is surface area, and we will go through what that is here in just a moment. So 10.6 is what we're studying, and Mrs. McKinley has been drawing, so look out everyone. What we are talking about in terms of surface area is just the outside of a box. So if we were to or any three-dimensional figure really, but we're going to be working with prisms pretty much. So if you think about wrapping a present, that's what we're talking about, just the outside, not how much area or volume is on the inside, but just the outside. And what we do is if we unfold these, we talk about having a net. So this is what's called a net when you unfold the whole thing. If you've ever had to take a box apart and seen how it's in one piece, but then you can put it all back together into that box with the lid, that's what a net is. So in this particular prism, what I've done is tried to label each top, front, side, and then here it's 4 high, 2 deep, 5 over here. So all of these small lines on the side are all 2. These are 4 and these are 5. Okay. So in this one, when you unfold it, notice that there are 2 that are 20, 2 that are 10 because they are 5 and 2. And then there are also 2 that are 8 because they are 2 and 4. So to find the surface area, you can either try to figure out that net if you like to draw those pictures. But what I like to do is find the area of each face and then add them up. So when I added all of this up, it was 75 units squared. But I like to use this technique instead, where you do the top and the bottom. So I know that the top one is 5 times 2, which is 10, but then if I multiply it times 2, then the bottom is counted too. So I find the square units of the top and double it to find the bottom. And then I label front and back. So if I just do the front, it's 20, but I need to double it so it gets to 40. And then side to side. So here we have 4 times 2, which is that 8, which we see right here. But that's just the left side. We need the right side. We're going to double it. And we get to 16. When we add 20 plus 40 plus 16, we get to the 76 square units. So I want you to try this one, and then I will unpause the video. Please try the technique that I just did above. You do the top and the bottom. So once you find the top, you need to multiply it by 2, and then we're going to add it straight down. It's very important that you kill a tree at this point because it's really easy to forget to double these when you do it. So I am going to pause my video. When I unpause it, the arithmetic will be right here, but you try it first. Okay, so when I do this arithmetic, I did 2 times 4. This would be a 2 and this would be a 4. Sometimes I do put little pencil marks. This is a 4 and this is a 2 to find the top. So that would be 8, and then the front would be 4 times 3, which is 12, and then the side is 3 times 2, which is 6, and I doubled all of those and added them up. Okay. Sometimes you're just going to get words, and I will get a better view of this next question. If there's a rectangular prism that is 3 feet by 4 feet by 6 feet, find the surface area. So sometimes I just go ahead and I do a quick sketch. It doesn't really actually matter which direction. So I'm going to do the 6s right here. And I'm going to do the 4 and I'm going to do the 3 here. And I'm going to do T and B, F and B, left and right, just to abbreviate. Again, when you need to have a way to keep track of your numbers, or they're going to go all kinds of crazy on you. So the top and the bottom, if we look right here, well, why don't I just go ahead and pause the video, but I want to remind you that this is 6, this is also 4 up here, and this is also 3 right here. So I'm going to pause the video. I'll put what the top and the bottom is over here. So what I did for the top and the bottom is the 6 times the 4, and I doubled it. The front is 6 times 3, which is 18. I doubled it. And then the left is left and right is 3 times 4 is 12, times 2, doubled it. I got 24. So I got 108 units squared. If you don't see any measurement like millimeters or things like that, you can just put units. Doesn't matter what they are, that's what it's going to be. The final technique I want to give you is what I am calling the bat wing technique. And this is another one, just like the last one. If you have measurements of the 12, 5, and 3, rather than drawing a picture, what I did was I drew the 3 in a row, and they all need to be multiplied by each other. So there's a quick zigzag, but then you need to do the first times the last. So watch what I do here. I'm going to do 12 times 5, which is 60. And I'm going to do 5 times 3, which is 15. And then I'm going to do 12 times 3, which is 36. Okay, what I'm going to do first is add up all of these, so 60, 15, and 36. So that's 11. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So I got 111, but I need to double it, which is 222. When I doubled it, I did get 222, and it's millimeters squared. When you think of all of these measurements, when we were on the other page, we are eventually going to multiply every single number, like number 1 by number 2, number 2 by number 3, and number 3 by number 1. Okay? That goes for every single time we're doing a prism. But the problem is after you do the bat wing technique, you've got to remember to double your answer to get the 222 millimeters squared. I think that is the basic concept of surface area. A lot of kids find it maybe more solidified in their mind if they draw off to the side. They draw the little prism. Some kids even like to try to draw that net, which is totally fine. But remember, whatever you do, keeping track of the numbers, whether it's this technique or whether it's this technique, you definitely need to do that. And finally, you could even do that picture. But remember too, if you leave out any of these flaps that you see here, you're kind of in a world of hurt. You've got to have all of those numbers present to find the square units needed to cover it. If you have any questions at all, or if this doesn't make sense, it went a little fast, I know it was fast, but if you rewatch the video, watch the extra ones that I've included, you should be great.